Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. It's been a minute, you guys. I'm so glad to be back. I've missed you all. And I'll do another video, maybe where I'll talk about where I was and everything. But today I just wanted to pop in to say hello. I found these magazines at my mom's house, and I think I was going to bring them home last time I was there and forgot. So I thought, okay, I can take these and maybe we can pick one to kind of flip through a little bit. So these are Smithsonian magazines. This one's from June of 2023, so I don't know, they might be all about that age. Let's see, what's in this one? How artisans in Puerto Rico sustain native culture. Maybe interesting. American tapestries. 3 artists creating bold new versions of a cherished art form. It looks like quilt. I think this is quilted, maybe. Wow. Okay, that's from August. Moorish Kingdom, Journey to Spain's Last Moorish Kingdom. From the magical Alhambra to desert backcountry and hidden coastal glories. Welcome to Andalusia. I guess that's how you say it. That's from October of 23. This isn't Smithsonian. What is this? Learning for Justice from fall of 2022. Well, that could be interesting too. Smithsonian, Fit for a King, From the Crypts to the Crown at Westminster Abbey. For some reason, this looks kind of interesting. So I'll put that one here to think about. Oh, Born to be Hunted. Oh, I don't like that. And South Africa, the debate about killing captive lions. Ugh, I don't like that. I think we'll skip that one. I do have something to say about that, but we'll wait for another time. Okay. Saving the Baby Puffin. Is that a baby puffin? What? Wait. Why does his face look so different from a puffin? Aren't puffins... A town in Iceland goes all out for beloved seabird. That might be interesting. The land of the date palms. From the oasis to the laboratory, a delicious search for the ancient fruit. I love dates, but I don't know. The Noble Fury of Samuel Adams. A bold new view of a forgotten founder. Forgotten? I don't think so. Everybody knows Sam Adams from his beer. I remember when Sam Adams beer was like the only thing that was different. There was like Bud and Bud Light, Coors and Coors Light, Miller, Pabst, whatever. And then Sam Adams came along, and it was like, oh my gosh, a new, different beer. And Killian's Red, and well, Yingling had been around, but it kind of went more national, and those were like the really unique beers. And now Sam Adams is, not very interesting, I guess, compared to the stuff you find. In Search of King Arthur. What year is this from? 2022. Am I crazy? Is he the one that they found under the parking lot that they made that movie about? Was that King Arthur? Ooh, History, Sparkling Sun, and Heritage Wine in Croatia. I still haven't done the video about Croatia. I went there. And I have to do a video about it, but I keep waiting to be with my sister and thinking maybe I'll have her, join me And but I don't know if she'd be into that. But at least I want to get her notes. What's happening? Hold on, let me make sure. I'm not gonna. This one we'll skip because I didn't cross the address out on that one. I didn't know. All right, so I'm down to maybe one of these. I wish there wasn't this glare, but I'm afraid if I turn that light off, it'll be too dark. Guys, something just like fell from the ceiling over here. It's weird because I don't see anything. It's making me think it could be. Okay, let's look at this one. This is from April, May of 2023. All right. Let's see what we have. We'll skip the table of contents. American Cruise Lines, Cruise New England. It seems fun, but I feel like I've heard bad things about that American. Maybe from my mom, I don't know. Charleston, South Carolina. Some call it hospitality. We call it endless welcome. I think Charleston is where the TV show Southern Charm, that's on Bravo. That, even though I think they're all a bunch of kind of idiots, I enjoyed watching it. But I think this bridge is named after Thomas Ravenel. I think it's like the Ravenel Bridge. And that guy was on the show for like the first maybe 3 seasons. And then he got in trouble for I don't know, all kinds of stuff. That's crazy. All right. What is this? A glimpse at our digital offerings? Regent Seven Seas. I saw Orca when I was in Alaska. Yes, I did. Team Kentucky Department of Tourism. Well, I didn't go there, but I've been to Kentucky. I did a video about it, actually. It's almost a spiritual experience to stand underneath these incredible trees. Look at that tree. The angel oak in South Carolina, famous for its age, is also massive, 65 feet high with a trunk circumference of 25 feet. Yeah, but how old is it? You'd think they'd tell us. The world's oldest ship still afloat, the USS Constitution, launched in 1797, got its nickname Old Ironsides during the War of 1812, after its hull, made in part of live oak, proved itself equal to the fearsome cannons of the British. Whoa. Live oak in Beaufort, South Carolina, photographed using an old-fashioned wet plate process. Is this article about the trees or about the place? What are we looking at? Saw in Louisiana in live oak growing. All alone stood it, and the moss hung down from the branches. Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. So it's about these big oaks. Okay. Support system. As a keystone species, the southern live oak shelters hundreds of woodland creatures. Meat for the barking tree frog, the Ferruginous pygmy owl. Never even heard of it, and I love owls. The white hair streak, which is a moth, I guess. The Seminole bat. Huh. Wow. Out of the mist, shining a light on the great Australian modernists the world almost never knew. I like that. Clarice Beckett painted Luna Park in 1990 across the street from a Melbourne amusement park. Huh. Mississippi. Camping on the beach is, it sounds like fun and romantic, but you get sand in your tent and it'll get in the zipper of your tent so that the zipper doesn't work. and you get sand in your sleeping bag. It's kind of sucks, actually. I don't know. More Than Anne. The life of Ellen Montgomery was less charmed than her most beloved heroine might have you believe. She wrote Anne of Green Gables. Spent her childhood summers. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to read all that. Let's see. At the Green Gables Museum, visitors can see photos of Montgomery's nemesis, Aunt Emily, with her husband and children photographed at their New Moon homestead. Montgomery in 1908, the year she published Anne of Green Gables. Now I feel like I have to read this. I need to know. I've never read that book. I don't know. Lucy Maud Montgomery, 14. During this period, as she put it in her diary, she had begun to harbor dreams of future fame. Wow. Good for her. Like, I kind of want to know, why is this person her nemesis? Let's see if we can just do the, what is it? What was the name of the woman? Something Wood. Something Wood School of Speed Reading. Do you guys remember that? She'd go. That's what I try to do. You just pick up a word here and there and see if you can figure it out. So she was an orphan. Aunt Elizabeth forbids her from reading or writing stories. Well, there you go. Okay. And that's where she writes. Before there was jazz, okay. An anonymous watercolor portrait of Francis Johnson holding an early 19th century horn. Look at that horn. It's got like 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1. Where's the circle go? 1, 2. But then that doesn't. There's something wrong with this painting. It doesn't continue. Anyway, 3 and 4. 4 swirly swirls. Never seen a horn like that. In March of 1819, a supremely gifted musician named Francis Frank Johnson played a concert at the Masonic Hall on Chestnut Street in Philadelphia. So it was before jazz. He started playing jazz. Huh. There's one human race, and music is the thing that brings us together. There's truth to that, isn't there? So to speak, beloved by her pupils, Lee McGuire stitched her way to liberation. This photograph, I hate to pick on the Smithsonian's magazine, but it's out of focus over here, and I don't think that's on purpose. Yeah. It's like they used an iPhone and they caught right here, but had it in portrait mode. Come on. Most 19th century schoolmistresses are long forgotten, but Lee McGuire of Pennsylvania, known as the Madame, embroidered her own legacy. She taught her teenage sewing pupils to replicate her flamboyant style on the blank linen squares, with blocked borders, brassy colors, and eruptions of tricky technique known as queen stitch. Wow, that is pretty cool. Fight of a Century, a new graphic novel, takes readers inside a match that shook America. Jack Johnson, I know him as a Hawaiian singer, was known for his patient boxing style, allowing his opponents to tire themselves out, then punishing them brutally once they'd run out of gas. Okay. crowns, choirs, and crypts. So here we have, is this Westminster Abbey? This is how little I know. I think so. I think this is Westminster. What year was that built? It goes way, way back, right? It could take you a lifetime or several lifetimes to learn the history here, says one member of the Abbey staff. Left the Westminster Towers completed in 1745. Look, I just learned everything I asked. 1745. Wow. Coronation site, Gothic treasure, tourist attraction. Let's take a mostly reverent tour of Westminster Abbey. Okay, let's do it. Ooh, look at that. Now, if my memory serves, this is where Princess Diana and Prince Charles were married. And I woke up in the middle of the night to watch that wedding. It was like so cool. The key to the Pyx chamber, Pyx, I guess that's like that, a low vaulted room during the 11th century where royal gold and silver coins were stored in wooden chests. Look at that key. 102-foot tall Gothic vault is the highest in England. The 18th century west window depicts the Hebrew patriarchs and the 12 tribes of Israel. Reginald Greenacre, an Abbey beadle, B-E-A-D-L-E, yeah, beadle, raises a flag bearing Westminster's coat of arms. Flags are rotated to mark festivals, state visits, and other events. It would be cool to go inside. I've been to London, and I just don't know. This must not be where, I don't know, maybe we stood outside, but I don't know why my memory isn't, I don't know. Why didn't we go inside if we were there? I'm not sure. Maybe we didn't have time. Selfies in Poets' Corner, where more than 100 illustrious writers are buried or memorialized, from Shakespeare and C.S. Lewis to Jane Austen. Wow. That's pretty cool. Look, it says Keats, Shelley, Southey, I don't know that person, Johnson. I can't read that one, but that might be. Well, it doesn't look like Shakespeare, but I think it says William. I don't know. Yeah, I can't read these ones. That's like a Greek or something, right? What does that say? Burns? Oh, there's Shakespeare. Shakespeare, Stratford-on-Avon, 1564 to 1616. Hannah Mills, a conservation housekeeper, dusts tombs in the Lady Chapel. Working with their faces and hands, you feel a connection to the person. I would love to have a job like, I don't know. I just, like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an archaeologist, like where they have to be real careful and dig up bones. But anything working with like antiquities, I find pretty cool. What's this crazy lady up to? I only say that because she's wearing all these colors. Head gardener Jan Pancheri relishes the 900-year-old college garden. It's a little bit of wilderness, even though you're in the middle of London. Yeah, I bet that's pretty. It looks like they're there during winter. I bet in the summer it'd be pretty. Here we go. Detail of a 6-foot-tall bronze candelabra by the sculptor Benno Elkin. One of 2 candelabra depicting figures from Old and New Testament. And they give this artist dates, and I had to read it twice because it says 1877 to 1960, and that seemed like impossible, but it's not. That's only like, what, 90, 80 something years old? I don't know, 18. Although my granddad was born, I think, in 1899, and he was alive until the 80s. But I know he wanted to try to live in 3 centuries. And I feel like my son, who was born in 1999, could maybe do that because people are living longer and longer. So that would be really cool. A monument to John Lord Russell, 1584. Inside the chapel of St. Edmund, the effigy of his infant son, Francis, is at his feet. Both are buried in the chapel. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, yeah, right here. And I guess that's probably his coat of arms. I don't know what these people are. Interesting. What is this? A wax effigy of Frances Stuart, Duchess of Richmond, 1702. A great beauty, famed for refusing King Charles II. The stuffed parrot was her pet. It doesn't look like a parrot. It looks like a magpie or something. Okay. Maybe it's because it's like 100 years old. Is this a wax figure from that time period? Or they made it? I don't know. I mean, I guess they could make wax figures. Why not? Sorry, I'm wearing such a... This thing's starting to get a little raggedy, but it's so comfy and I was cold, and it's the way it is. The organ, installed in 1937 for King George VI's coronation, the instrument incorporated pipes from the 19th century and was expanded in the 1980s. Wow, what must that sound like? Because it would, I assume it's in this part of the cathedral. Hold on, let's see if we can see it. No, I don't see it. Oh, maybe it's, I don't know. It might be there. Can you imagine the sound reverberating around that? It must be incredible. And they always have like the boys who sing super high. That must sound really cool. Oh my God. When we were in Croatia, they have Catholic cathedrals on even the smallest island. Like, I swear, these islands probably have a population of under 100 people, but there will be a huge Catholic cathedral. But when we were in Dubrovnik, we went into a monastery, and it seemed like, well, we were there off season, but it seemed like tourists didn't really go there or know about it. But we had read about it in Rick Steves' book. And he said, you can go in and look around. So we were like, okay. So we found the doorway. You had to kind of find it. And then we went inside. And I think there was a sign saying, come on in, look around. It wasn't like we were doing anything wrong. But we went in there, and you're looking at all the old... It's not as big as this, but it's a pretty big cathedral. And there's all these old sculptures and art and stuff. So we were kind of looking around. And then the monks were in like a different building. We couldn't see them, but they were singing, and it was like reverberating through the building, and it was just the two of us, my sister and I, quietly walking around. I'll never forget that. It was like kind of magical. We're like, wow. You felt like you went back in time, All right. In addition to singing daily services, the choir performs and records wide repertoire spanning 6 centuries, including new commissions. They look thrilled. They look real excited. I assume they told them to post that. All right. Well, River Roosevelt, a former U.S. president, Brazil's leading explorer, and a deadly voyage in the Amazon. Let's see, I think that's Roosevelt right there, right? Theodore Roosevelt, right, and Candido Rondon, second from right, lead the fateful mission to map an uncharted waterway and document natural wonders. Okay, that's probably a good article, but I'm not going to read it all. We just skim and look at the picture. Rondon had already spent 25 years exploring, building roads, bridges, and telegraph lines, and peacefully making contact with isolated indigenous communities. Roosevelt was a genuine naturalist who let no opportunity to acquire knowledge pass, Rondon said, and passionately devoured books. A lot of fiber in books. Rondon was as comfortable in the cafes of Rio de Janeiro as in the remotest corners of the Amazon. Oh. I love it when you look. I don't know why I love this. But when you look at an old photo and there's like a super cute guy who looks modern, I always find that interesting. I don't know why. Like, look at this guy sitting there. Hold on. Let's see if it'll. See the guy sitting? He's like a hottie. A Meal on the Move, January 1914. From left seated. Oh, I'm not going to read all these people, I don't think. Maybe. John Augustine Zam, Rondon, George Cherry, Kermit Roosevelt seated on the outside. Am I understanding that? I think Roosevelt's, I guess it's his son, is a hottie, maybe. Leo Miller, Jacob Sigg, Amilcar Armando Botello, De Magalhaes, Jose Antonio Callazera. Oh boy, how do you say J-O-A with a, what do you call it? Oh, João Salustiano Lyra. Okay. Roosevelt and Anthony Fiala. I bet I said all those names wrong. I am neither a great man, nor is this minor detail. Mapping the river is indispensable. Oh, I bet this is an interesting story. Because they talk about all the challenges they faced. I might bring this magazine back. My dad might like to read this story. When the river proved impassable, the men hauled their canoes on the trunks of felled trees they used as a skidway. Life became one portage after another, Theodore Roosevelt wrote. Okay. Here's Kermit. He looks to run about some. Kermit Roosevelt, 24, and newly engaged to be married, joined the Amazon journey to appease his mother, who worried about Teddy. Uh-oh. Why do I have a feeling he doesn't make it out of here? What does this say? Rondon inside a field tent during an extraordinary 1905 expedition to construct a telegraph line across the Pantanal, Brazil's vast inland swamp. Ooh. Descending the River of Doubt, Roosevelt Center was given the largest and most stable canoe. Few of the boats would survive the voyage. It is impossible to go back. It is very doubtful if all our party ever reaches Manaus. This doesn't sound good at all. Uh-oh, look. Uh-oh. No, hold on, let me see what that says. Navayat Falls, the expedition's first major challenge. The dangerous cataract consisted of a mile of rapids and a pair of 6-foot waterfalls, followed by a narrow gorge. Oh no. Oh boy. Somebody's gonna have to look up what happened here. The men drove. Soon a week later, Roosevelt lay recuperating. Wait, what happened? Roosevelt sent a telegraph to his wife announcing that he and Kermit had survived, and another message to the Brazilian foreign minister in Rio de Janeiro. We have had a hard and somewhat dangerous but very successful trip, he wrote, before enumerating the expedition's perils and major achievements. My dear sir, I thank you from the heart for my chance to take part. Okay, good. So they made it, I guess. Good news. Here it says, on Easter Sunday, he wrote, Father not well, Kermit wrote that night, much worried. Uh-oh. You'd hate to get that message. School of Rocks. Trekking across massive ice field in Alaska to learn the stone-cold facts about glaciers in a changing climate. Huh. See, that's all cool. That would be like such interesting work, wouldn't it? Look at this. They leave from like Juneau. There's no roads. You have to take a boat or a plane there. So then you start from there and go up through the glacier. Wow. My shorts. Crazy girl. Look at there, how tiny. These are the people. It must be so awesome to be there. Wow. Waste not. Tradition-minded farmers embrace new technology to convert manure and food scraps into electricity. Wow, that's cool. How cool is that? I remember hearing of that way back. My brother, I don't know why, but he would tell me that you could take methane from manure to create electricity. And he was saying that back in, the 80s. He was telling me that. I was like, really? That's cool. But I've never really heard of people doing it. So, the Connecticut River cuts between the Green Mountains of Vermont and the White Mountains of New Hampshire and rushes into the heart of Massachusetts, where Denise Barstow Mans stands in the wind, surveying the land her family has farmed for 217 years. We have some of the best soil in the entire world. It's called Hadley Silt Loam. She explains how the rich Connecticut River floodplain that's wedged between the river and Mount Holyoke mountain range behind her nourished tobacco, asparagus, broom corn, and squash for her 1800s ancestors, and how it now grows hay and corn for the current farm's 600 dairy cows. That's pretty cool. It always seems like this idyllic life to be a farmer, but I know it is so much work. I just can't imagine how much work it would be. Don't just throw it away. The byproducts of various biological processes are increasingly being converted into useful materials. Manure, wastewater biosolids, food waste, and other organics. Combining compatible materials can increase biogas production. And then it says anaerobic digestion, and that turns into biogas or digestate. And the biogas, you can make bioplastics, electricity, heat, vehicle fuel, and renewable natural gas. Digestate, organic fertilizer, animal bedding, renewable construction material, crop irrigation, and horticultural products. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Science. Scientists are so smart. They figure stuff out. We are disrupting the waste industry. Imagine if we could really recycle all our garbage and make energy and stuff out of it. That would be so amazing. under control. How communities in the West are boldly setting property ablaze to reduce the impact of extreme wildfires. Yeah, they like make, I think how it works. What is on here? Like if you have all these trees growing, then it'll go one, so they'll do an intentional fire. So it's like a fire break. So the fire can't, hopefully won't be able to jump from one to another. Kind of cool. But you still get really bad fires like out in California. Oh my gosh, my foot is asleep. Oh, I haven't had that in a while. What a feeling. Out of the shadows, look. A seal, or a sea lion. A monk seal in southern Greece. Females tended to give birth on beaches before human hostility drove them into hiding. What? What do they mean, hostility? Who would be hostile to a seal? The Mediterranean monk seal begins its life in a cave. Even after it grows to hunt and mate in open waters, the seal sticks to its monkish ways. These retiring creatures, the only seal species in the Mediterranean region, are among the scarcest marine animals in the world. What? With a population of about 800 and half found in Greek waters. Huh. Wow. What is this picture? How cute. Oh my God. Frozen. From Norway to Nepal, this year's winning photographs span the globe to capture the extraordinary moments. I love it. It looks like this rabbit's throwing a snowball. Grand prize. This one, the grand prize. Wow. It's from Norway. Okay. Oh, what is this? American experience from Atlanta. United States. Across the Shiraz. It's a polling place, I think it says. Or is this? Wait, oh no, that one is. Okay, whoops. This one. It's the big tent. And this is Gnarly Girls. Ski mask. And she's putting on, she's having a lollipop. I don't know. It's like art. White Side, a former musical theater teacher, knows how to bring drama. Yeah. Native Americans, I guess, or no, they might be. Wait, Nepal, sorry. Nepal. Okay, this is the rhinoceros is running. That must be so crazy. Prabir from India shattered the youngest victims of Belgian rule. In its African colonies, Belgium forced thousands of mixed-race children into orphanages. Decades later, they are still seeking justice. The criminal abuse that King Leopold II of Belgium notoriously visited upon the people of Congo River Basin, beginning with his illicit appropriation in the 1880s. We were told we were the children of sin. Oh, that's terrible. That's like too sad to read. For this, don't be puzzled. I bet that's hard. The choir, Quire, the choir in the center of the nave. The stalls reserved for choristers, clergy, and visiting diplomats date from 1848. The checkered floor is from 1677. Wow. 1677. What is this? The 9 planets ring. High performance inflatable kayak. I have 2 inflatable kayaks. They work pretty good actually. But they're, even though they're inflatable, they're still too big. They take up too much room. Alright, what do we have here? Questions. Have any modern animals adapted to human activity through natural selection? Human-caused factors have led to anatomical changes in both vertebrates and invertebrates. One example is the peppered moth. In the early 20th century, air pollution killed the lichen that camouflaged on, exposing dark tree bark. The typical light form of the moth started getting preyed upon at a higher rate than its darker counterparts, resulting in darker species. Similar cases can be found in more than 70 species of moth and butterfly. As pollution levels decline due to regulation, the melanism in these creatures reversed. That's interesting. So the pollution caused the lichen on the tree to die, which was light colored. So then it was darker colored, and the moths turned dark. But then when they cleared up the pollution, the trees were light again. It turned light. There you go. How did engineers in antiquity do elaborate calculations using Roman numerals? It's difficult to know how much ancient engineers relied on intuition and geometry. Our knowledge of how the Romans used architectural drawings, let alone the mathematics they used to produce them, is also quite limited. We do know from ancient Roman times, though, from ancient Roman times through the Middle Ages, Europeans made calculations using abacus and the counting board. The former used beads, while the latter involved stones or discs called counters. That's interesting. I guess we knew that about the abacus. When fish swim down to deeper levels of the ocean and back up again, does it affect the pressure in their bodies, the way altitude shifts or deep sea diving affects human bodies? I think fish have a balloon-like thing in them. Let's see. Changes in depth do not generally affect fish the same way pressure changes in altitude affect people, because fish lack lungs. However, most fish do have an enclosed air sac called a swim bladder. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They can move air in and out of that sac to help them with buoyancy. But this is a slow process, and if a fish comes up too rapidly, for example, if it's caught on a fishing hook in deep water and then is quickly reeled to the surface, the pressure change can be fatal because the swim bladder can't be deflated fast enough. There you go. Why do many states have such odd shapes with wavy natural borders on some sides and straight lines on the other? Good question. The borders of the original 13 colonies were based on land grants from British Crown, though it took some debate to settle their final boundaries. Natural features played a role in states' shape across the nation, as did railroads and canals. Straight boundaries west of Appalachians were defined by the Public Land Survey using latitude and longitude. Due to limitations in surveying methods, many of these lines weren't perfectly straight and needed correction along the way. Slavery also influenced many state borders. Internationally, U.S. borders were established by treaties with the UK, Canada, and Mexico. All right. North wait, what? I don't know why I said North. American Queen Voyages. Oh, I saw this. North American Encounters. 2,800 per guest. Whew. And it's one of those. What's the word for that? I can't think of the word for it. Paddleboard? Not paddle boat. I don't know. Why doesn't it tell me? I can't think of the word. Anyway, well, that was kind of interesting.